Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. I'm currently live streaming, no cam today, mostly because I'm just kind of tired. I'm kind of like eye baggy, but I'm doing the video. We're live streaming currently, and we're gonna look over this week in Destiny. I don't always do these, but it looks like there's some substantial information. So we're gonna review it. Arms Week is on. We're 2 days into Arms Week. How are all you hand cannon enthusiasts feeling? We've introduced a new archetype with the Frontera Fera. Some old favorites are dropping from activities. Yeah, old favorites that are useless, and you can equip crazy volatile mods with powerful effects into them. And no, we have not forgotten about the new strand rifle, which should have been stasis. I don't know why we need 3 strand when we only have 1 stasis, but okay. We've seen a few fun rolls out there already for it. Arms Week is a 1-week event introduced with Edge of Fate, and it'll be around until the next weekly reset on Tuesday, August 5th. So don't miss on the opportunity to earn some nice rewards while you can. It has its own event home that you can find in the portal, yada, yada, yada. They have yet to say anything about the fact that there's no way to complete it, I guess, without spending money. Yeah, they didn't say anything. The coil arrives at the portal. Wow. Cool. The Solstice, which is actually very interesting. Arms Week was our first event for Edge of Fate, but Solstice is right around the corner. It's going to last for 2 weeks, and there are a few things changing compared to how we celebrated in the past. Oh my God, is Solstice actually getting some love finally? The goal of the event is to use the Solstice Forge to create a full set of armor, then make it glow. Is it just going to be this glowing? Given that we have a new system of stats and armor in place of the Edge of Fate, it's probably a good moment to earn a few sets. Is it going to be tier 1? But let's talk about what's changing. For starters, in lieu of the bonfire bash activity this year, we are adding a plethora of modifiers to portal activities. These modifiers are inspired by son of a bitch. So does that mean that we're not going to get at least bonfire bash as an activity, and instead we're going to live in the fucking portal again? I hope that's wrong. I hope that you get both. These modifiers are inspired by solar energy, very fitting for the Solstice theming, and you might recognize some of these effects if you have paid attention to artifacts in the past. Hot Potato. Carryable solar flares occasionally drop from defeated combatants. Passing between players increases the amount of damage it will do. Fire it up, dealing damage and final blows from a solar source raises a heat meter once full. Your weapons cause solar explosions. Classy Healing, heal yourself when you're using your class ability. Igniter, precision hits against scorched combatants cause ignitions. These modifiers will rotate each day on the portal matchmaking activities, but can be selected anytime within custom difficulty selection, with one exception. Hot Potato will stay on each day for the portal matchmaking activities. Another addition coming with Solstice is the new Solstice Scorched Crucible playlist. You can imagine what weapon is the main character here. The Scorch Cannon. Man, it's not like we didn't have that before. Wow, that's original. Both teams will be able to use them in Clash, Control, and Rift game match modes. So revel in the chaos and don't forget to charge the cannon after shooting it for some extra area damage. As you play during the 2 weeks of Solstice, you'll earn some free rewards in its dedicated event home, from a unique emblem to a ghost shell to some holofoil weapons. So don't forget completing your daily and weekly challenges so you can progress the event rank track to earn all of them. This version of the event Event Home has a new and improved reward shop where you'll be able to purchase weapons directly, which we can do that now, and it's actually freaking ass. Up to a tier 4, depending on your guardian rank, as well as up to tier 4 weapon armor engrams. There will also be glimmer stacks and enhancement cores. Yeah, what they're not telling you is that you're not going to be able to get a lot, and so in order to get these tier 4s, you're going to spend money. That's right, they want you to spend money. Trials of Osiris is back. After 2 weeks where other activities got their well-deserved time in the spotlight, it's time for Trials of Osiris to return. Starting tomorrow, our in-game PvP game mode will be available to players that own the Edge of Fate expansion until the following reset. Pick up a Trials Passage or a Lighthouse Passage, depending on your preference, and put on your best weapons. The map will be Burnout. Saint didn't want to change his favorite weekend pastime much, and he has only disabled the power level disadvantages in the new iteration. That doesn't mean he hasn't been busy. There are new rewards to earn. For starters, there's a new set of armor for each class, and on top of that, Saint has secured 5 weapons, including the second ever spread shot hand cannon, the Auric Disabler, which is a strand precision frame auto rifle, Horus Neutralizer is a kinetic spread shot hand cannon, Aetius Embrace, no one's excited for that. Forgiveness, no one's excited for that. Unwavering Duty, I'm actually excited for that. During these first 6 weeks of uninterrupted trials weekends, there won't be a featured weekly weapon. That means you'll be earning all of them while you play your matches, with wins having a higher chance of them dropping. We will have a featured weapon again on September 9th, shortly after Ash and Iron Major Update launches and 2 more weapons enter the trial loot pool. We'll talk more about them once they are closer. For now, remember that only the Lighthouse Passage allows you to go to the Lighthouse, so choose wisely when visiting Saint. Put together a powerful build, see what stats fit your playstyle the best, and start earning new tier trials weapons. More comms support for the Edge of Fate. Wow. They're going to tell us about stuff that they should have told us before it launched. As we progress into week 3 of the Edge of Fate, we have more to share about some of the issues players have encountered while playing, which is a shit ton of them. Some of these have already been shared on our social media channels and will serve as a reminder, but we're also expanding to ensure that missed patch notes, among other changes, are included. Yeah, totally not stealth nerfs or anything. Totally, completely unintentional. Missing patch notes. When making changes within the game, we never intend to ship nerfs or buffs without communication. Maybe you should have someone proofread then, if that's the case. We want our players to know what's going on so they can be informed on what build crafting options to test out and explore. Give us good feedback and even help us distribute the information to friends or clanmates to prep them for upcoming changes. And let's be honest, this community is proficient enough in how Destiny works that players find out sooner or later if a change is made without proper patch notes. So this is just, I feel like this is also like an excuse, because I do think that Bungie does make changes, and they have made changes in the past that they've just never addressed. They have been caught stealth nerfing things and not actually addressing it. So this is not like, if it wasn't the fact that we've had historical context of them actually doing this, I would say, yeah, you know what? Okay, they missed out on some patch notes, but the fact that we actually have caught them stealth nerfing and they never addressed it, yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes things get missed in the process of filing, implementing, collecting, writing, and publishing our patch notes. We agree that it can be frustrating to be caught off guard by changes and are taking steps to further improve our patch notes processing to avoid having... Why does this feel like this is always the response? Guys, we got caught plagiarizing with Marathon. We are now putting in the steps to ensure that we further improve our process. Like, why is it always you get your hand caught in the cookie jar and then you take the opportunity to fix things? Like, what? Why? We have been gathering issues and missing patch notes while also having conversations with the team to have the most informed takes on the changes that were not communicated on time, to confirm if there's been issues that need to be fixed, and to see if we could implement some of the feedback that has been shared during the last few weeks. Let's go over them. Solar. Ember of Benevolence had its energy regen tuned during the stat rework. The amount of energy regen was reduced from 4 times to 3 times, and the duration of energy regen was increased by 1 second. Warlock, Touch of Flame was tuned during the stat rework. The damage of solar infusion grenades were enhanced by Touch of Flame was reduced by 10%. Exotic Armor, Speaker Sight. This is a big one. Turret's lifetime was reduced from 15 seconds to 9 seconds. Despite multiple other efficacy reductions, Speaker Sight was still dominating the healing support role. To give room to other exotics and add variety to the Warlock support playstyle space, we've reduced the turret's lifetime to 9 seconds. The result is a turret that fires 2 less shots over its lifetime. We'll be monitoring how this affects the performance of Speaker Sight with an intent to let exotics still shine, just as far as over as other exotics. I think people are still going to use Speaker Sight. I think it's just still too good to give up. But I could be wrong. I'm not running as a Warlock. Warlock, Wings of Sacred Dawn. No longer reload your equipped weapon from reserves. This change was made to avoid bad interaction with single-shot weapons like bow, with now also expanding to reload non-solar weapons, adding more flexibility to the exotic. Health versus shield. We have investigated reports of player health and shield functionality differing from our original explanation. Upon review, we have found discrepancies. The following is a proper explanation of how these scalars with armor stats. Player health. Player health stun. The time it takes the red part of the health bar to start regenerating is equivalent to 100 of the old recovery stats. It doesn't feel like that. Player health regen is equivalent to 20 of the... Okay. That's why it feels so fucking bad. The health stun and health regen tuning is intentional to get injured guardians out of danger quickly, while leaving room for the health stat and healing verb to be valuable. It just feels like ass. Player shields. Shield stun and shield regen is equivalent to 20 of the old recovery stat, while your health stat is below 100. When your health stat increases from 100 to 200, your shield stun and shield regen will improve, eventually going beyond 100 of the old recovery stat. From 100 to 200, you will also gain additional shields when facing combatants. There is an issue where the health stat tooltip says this affects health and not shields. The tooltip text will be corrected in an upcoming update to properly note the benefits only increases shields. Note that the 1 to 100 health stat benefiting of healing orb increases the amount of health and shield gained each time you pick up a orb of power. We will also update the necessary tooltip text in an upcoming update. On a related note, update 9.0.0.4 fixed an issue with the health stat causing unexpected deaths. Particularly in PvP, when this issue would occur, high health stat values cause shield and health values to become desynchronized across the server, leading to players dying unexpectedly when they believe they had full health and shields. Currently investigating. Warlock. We want to acknowledge that players are feeling the sandbox for Warlock is being left behind other classes. Buddy builds don't benefit much from the stat changes, and there aren't many melee builds that benefit from the additive melee changes. Among other feedback, we're investigating a tuning pass for Warlocks that will start with Ash and Iron continuing through Renegades. Yeah, I have not heard a lot of good things about Warlock. Titan. We're investigating an interaction where Unbreakable and Prismatic doesn't appear to work as intended with Shackle Grenades. Wow. Exotic armor. We're looking into issues and feedback regarding the following exotics. Controversial holds. Crest of Alpalupi. What's wrong with Crest of Alpalupi? Nezarec Sin. Starfire Protocol. Crown of Tempest. Wing of Sacred Dawn. Enoia. What the hell is this? Geomag Stabilizers. Boots of the Assembler and Rhymecoat Raiment. What are the problems with these? Can you tell us what the problem is? Because I use Crest of Alpalupi. Reported issues. Warlock. Handheld supernova damage was reduced by 20%. This was not intended and will be fixed in a future update. Sunbracers was tuned during the grenade stat rework to function the same at 70 stat. Due to stat thresholds issue explained, fewer grenades than intended were available at 70 stat. This should be corrected with the grenade stat fix in update 9.0.0.04. Titan. Throwing hammer melee had a cooldown added to pick up the hammer, and its bounce was increased versus bosses. This was not intended. Oh. So this was not intended. That means Bonk Hammer might actually be good in the future. That's crazy. So everyone said that this felt like ass. Bonk Hammer actually might be good in the future. Stats, grenade, melee, super class were not regenerating as we presented them pre the Edge of Fate. These were fixed in 9.0.0.4. The weapon stat will still display a 6% PvP buff after update 9.0.0.4, despite being only 5%. This will be fixed in a future update. Hit markers. Hit markers don't appear in the HUD when players deal damage. This was fixed in update 9.0.0.4. Weapons. Queensbreaker no longer blinds on shots. Choir of One can be macroed to fire faster than intended. This was fixed. Choir of One has lower ammo regeneration than intended. This was fixed. Icebreaker swaps can provide ammo. We're looking to fix in the long term, but we'll let it ride for now. Wait, this is a what? You could do icebreaker. That's why it was disabled for contests. Interesting. Certain exotic bows don't interact with hierarchy of needs. Guidance ring and the behavior for projectile tracking has changed. Wait a minute, the behavior for projectile tracking. So that's not intended. So the projectiles are supposed to track. Okay, if they fix that, I'm going to be excited for Hierarchy of Needs because literally this felt like a nerf. So if they're fixing that, hallelujah. Sprint. We are investigating reports that players will sometimes sprint, but not getting the accompanying increase in movement speed. To work around this issue, if you encounter it, return to orbit and re-enter your activity. Why is that the issue for our solution to everything? Guys, your banners don't work? Go to orbit. Artifact bonus. We're tracking issue where the application of new gear ornaments can increase the amount of damage resistance the player receives. This will be fixed in the future. Yeah, so you can stack them. That's kind of funny. The Desert Perpetual Investigation. We're investigating reports of cheating with fire teams who cleared the Perpetual, breaking our code of conduct, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, I don't, they've said this before. Raid and dungeon difficulty scaling. Oh, they're just reprinting everything they said on Twitter. Yeah, raid and dungeon difficulty scaling. Well, updating difficulty for legacy raid and dungeon activity to address player feedback. The combat difficulty for normal master will be reduced by 10 power. So I think master is -30. It's now going to be -20. And I think regular normal is negative. Is it -10? So it's just not going to be negative anymore. I don't. What am I guessing? Just literally go to the world. Yeah. So this is going to go to -20, and this is going to be just, it's not even going to be negative. There's no power delta for standard. Good, because it makes no sense. Oops, wrong thing. We'll be updating difficulty in Combined Mastery Triumph in the Desert Perpetual Raid to address player feedback. Base combat difficulty will be lowered by 10 power. Enemies will deal less damage, and players will be able to do more damage. We will be lowering the Cutthroat combat raid feat, especially the combat difficulty, by 10 power. Was a +40, will be a +30. Wait, wasn't the whole point of this tier, this feat, to be like contest mode because people wanted a contest mode node? What? Why are you changing that? Like it's not like you have to use this feat at all. I'm confused. We will be lowering the Combined Mastery Triumph to only require a single completion at base difficulty, which will upgrade your gear rewards by 1 tier. Guys, you're not going to be stuck on tier 1. You're finally going to get tier 2 by doing 1 triumph. Isn't that exciting? Even though it should be tier 3 at base. Example, instead of getting tier 1, you'll get tier 2. Layering in additional feats will increase your difficulty, but also help you get tier 3 rewards and beyond. Wow. Isn't that great? Sprint bug. We have an update to share regarding sprinting, sometimes not working for players. This has been a particularly nasty issue in PvP since the launch. Oh yeah, I experienced it in PvP myself. It sucks. This sucks. The cause is due to players hitting a max number of stat modifiers allowed in a match or activity. What? This max number is shared among all players and enemies and normally would be rare to reach, but the modifiers aren't disappearing on death like they should. This means they've been stacking when a player revives, increasing the likelihood that the max will hit. Some players have pointed out, and we believe this is to be correct, that the issue has existed since episode Heresy. Aha, yeah, I did have someone in my comment section saying, hey, I kept posting this, and they didn't do anything. But we've only seen an impact since the Edge of Fate launch due to the addition of Armor 3.0 stat modifiers. So people were pointing it out, but you ignored it until it became a bigger issue. I love that they admitted that they, instead of, looking into it and addressing the issue before it got worse, they let it get worse. And now that it's such a big issue, they're like, oh, we've got to fix this now. Good job, Bungie. Good job. We've made progress in identifying the root cause, and we are now targeting a short-term fix for next Tuesday, August 5th, in Destiny 2's update 9005. While there may still be instances of the issue occurring after the update is shipped, we believe it will be reduced frequency as we continue to investigate a long-term fix. budget your build in Desert Perpetual Raid. This weekend, 6 teams of streamers from around the world are equipping their prismatic subclasses, hitting the new Desert Perpetual Raid in the global Destiny 2 creator event. Budget your build. Shout out to Sammy K, Bow Expert, and the brain behind the event. Before they even enter the raid, each player is given a small amount of virtual money to buy their super abilities, aspects, fragments, and exotic armor. Then for each encounter or additional challenge completed, everyone gets additional money to upgrade their build. Think cooperative build crafting meets roguelike. Cool. I'm just skipping through forward. Known issues. What other known issues are known? We're continuing to invest issues where some game functions will degrade over the course of activity. I wonder what some functions are. Braid banners do not always function as expected. Enemies of Banes may have odd visual effects for some players. When unavailable, the Vanguard Armory rewards incorrectly states that players have already claimed their rewards for the week, even if they have not. The message should state that players have earned the appropriate rank or on the weekly seasonal hub reward track before they can claim this week's armor. Kepler, players who joined another player during the Saturnism mission after the player has acquired the relocator 2 upgrade are unable to acquire it themselves. Not all players are earning the expected exotic armor for completing the Edge of Fate on Wow. Players should check the altar relatively for this reward, in addition to replaying the invitation and commencement missions, as there are separate known issues related to legendary completion being incorrectly shown as the Legend Forge triumph for these missions. Spaghetti code, dude. Players can be blocked from performing various actions during the Edge of Fate campaign by playing through with Fireteam members on Fable or Mythic World tiers. Mythic campaign missions are sometimes not granting players completion progress when other members of the Fireteam are at different completion states. Players cannot attack in Matterspark if primary vehicle is not bound. This is not true, by the way. Sometimes it just bugs out where you can't attack, even if you do have a primary vehicle fire stat equipped. Weapons. Benatira's hip fire reticle is continuing to display when aiming down sight. Enhanced 1-2 punch does not correctly display the buff text when active on the gun. Fever and Chill's radiant damage bonus is sometimes being incorrectly applied to the shot that activates the perk instead of just the following shots. Oh, destabilizing rounds can inconsistently grant volatile rounds. So does that mean that's not giving it to you when it should? Is that what's going on? Is it's not working like it's supposed to? I don't know. Vex Mythic class rate of fire is incorrect. Queensbreaker no longer blinds. Graviton Spike typo is missing its lore tab. MO typo. Mods are not presented on all weapons that should have them. Glaive melee attacks do not activate Bolt Charge. Armor. The description for Mask of Bacchus does not accurately reflect a change where it can be activated with Stasis or Arc Supers equipped instead of only Stasis. The Black Letter Robes ornament appears visible when previewed. Yeah, you get the pay to win. You get to go invisible. Ability energy, stat benefits, values, and tooltips are not correctly aligned with actual effects. Lodi again. Okay, that's weird. And just like that, the twit is over. I hope you're earning tons of great hand cannon rolls for Arms Week and that you're wrecking havoc with exclusive mods that can only be used for a limited time. We have Solstice in the coming weeks with some interesting modifiers that benefit from solar weapons so that the solar hand cannon might come in handy. Ada, hey Ada, check this roll. There it is. There's your week in Destiny. All this tells me is that this Bungie is like on the seams. There are so many spaghetti issues, and what is going on with this game, dude? This game is just absolutely spaghetti code. If there was ever a good reason to say, hey, we need to make a Destiny 3, it's this. It's time to move on. It's time to move on, man. It's time to say, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. All right, and with that, that is your week in Destiny. We will see how things turn out. I've been playing Arms Day week, and it's not very impressive. So for me personally, I will be working on reviews. I have finally hit power level 400, and the grind has begun. I at least have enough to do my review, and that's kind of what we're shooting for. Well, I thank you guys. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. As always, game out.